Hello again, everybody. This is Rocket Rick J18, and today I'm going to show you uh, my collection of Joe DiMaggio cards. And these would be, uh, for the most part, playing days cards, or a few post playing days cards that I think fit into the collection. Much more so than modern cards, for example. So, without any further ado, let's look at the cards because they're going to be the star of the show. The first card that I'm going to show you is really not a card. It's actually a uh, candy wrapper, and it is from the 1936 Overland candy wrapper. It actually is the piece of paper that wrapped up the piece of candy. And then this was printed on the, and truthfully, I don't know whether it's printed on the outside or the inside, to be perfectly honest. Let's zoom in a little bit. This, of course, was during his rookie year, and it notes that in his final year with the Pacific Coast League, he batted 399, and in 1933 he broke the record by hitting safely in 61 consecutive games. So that's a minor league stat that presaged the his feat of 56 consecutive game hitting streak in 1941, which of course remains the major league record. And this candy wrapper was actually submitted to SGC, and they didn't grade it because they noted on here that it was too fragile to hold her. That's the Overland candy wrapper. The next next card, and it really is a card, is the 1939 play ball. And you should be able to tell immediately, excuse me, that this card was trimmed. However, it fits right into my set because I have a lot of gently used cards, and this is one of them. The 1939 is not his first card. His first card was the 1936 Worldwide Gum, which I do not have and will probably never have because it's a 5-figure card, and it's pretty scarce and very expensive. Next is his 1938 Gaudi card, which I also don't have. But Adam at Vintage Sanctuary has one, and he has it in a blazing SGC1, I believe. In any case, he's very proud of it, and I'm very proud of the fact that I was at the National when he got that, and he came into uh, the YouTubers get together, just absolutely beside himself with happiness. So I hope one day to have one of those myself, but I don't have one yet. So this would be the next card in line, the 1939 play ball. And the next card I have to show you is its mate, the 1941 play ball, and this is his. This is the premiere uh, of this card on my channel. I got this at the Philly show just about, um, well, not even quite a week ago. It was this past Saturday, and you know, or actually this past Friday is when I got it. And a friend of mine uh, was with me at the show, and he was the first one to see it. And I give thanks to William Chappell, uh, and who had this card and had it priced at a very respectable price, which is right within the parameters that I had established for this card. And I was only an hour into the show, and I really wanted to have a chance to look around a bit more, but I was so afraid somebody might sneak in and grab this that I just went ahead and bought it because I had seen a couple of others in my brief survey, and they were all comma cards, at least according to the prospective sellers. So, very happy to add this to my collection. And along with this card, it completes my play ball collection of cards. And you can see that it's a very similar looking uh, stance, and it might be the same picture or it might not be, but I think it probably is. If it's not, it's uh, it's very close to it. And of course, the background of this is just the colorized version. I think it's the same photograph with a different background, uh, for sure, but nevertheless. So, three play ball issues: 1939, 1940, 1941, and here are the three DiMaggio cards, which, along with the three Williams cards, are the the featured cards in these sets for the most part, I'll say. So the next card I have to show you is also from 1941, and it has been seen on this channel before. It is the 1941 double play card with Charlie Keller. I believe that there are two different cards that depict Joe DiMaggio. One is with another player whose name escapes me at the moment, but Charlie Keller was uh, one of the outfielders with Joe DiMaggio, and I believe he played in left field, and the other being Tommy Henry. The next card is from 1943, and it is the much maligned 1943 MP and Company card. And this is in an SGC2, which is pretty high up for me. Um, and this card has been seen on my show uh, channel once before in a pickup series, but the 1940 play ball has never been seen before on this channel. The next card that I have to show you is the 1939 to 46 exhibit card of Joe DiMaggio, sometimes known as a salutation card because of the salutation that appears at the bottom each card, or somewhere on each card. In Joe's case, it's at the bottom. This is obviously in an SGC1. And, the backs are plain, although you can readily see how this card was joyfully taped to the wall of somebody who thought a lot of Joe DiMaggio and wanted to have this picture displayed. And I'm told by Stuke at Stuke's Cards and Curiosities that this card was issued in 1946. And of course, 1947, the exhibit cards began an entirely new series without the cordially or very truly yours or whatever the salutation that varies from card to card. But in Joe's case, he's cordial. 1946 exhibit card. So the next card is the 1948-49 Leaf Joe DiMaggio, also in an SGC1. And this card is surprisingly not terribly expensive, as Joe DiMaggio playing days cards go. And of course, regrettably, Joe was injured much of 1949 when the Yankees managed to climb back into the pennant race and ultimately win the pennant race in 1949 and go on to buy one game over Cleveland, as it turned, or one game over Boston, rather, as it turned out. And is the year that is featured in the David Halberstam book. So I think I have right over here, just by chance, called The Summer of 1949 or 49. And yes, that's going to be upside down, but this is it. A little difficult to see, but that's the David Halberstam book. It's a great book. I highly recommend it to anybody who is interested in vintage baseball card stories. It starts at the beginning of the season and tells the story of how, in the absence of Joe DiMaggio, Tommy Henrik, old reliable, stepped up and put the team on his shoulders, and clutch home run after clutch home run, or base hits in that game. So I think, that's another story. But this is Joe DiMaggio, so 1949. The next card that I have to show you is the 1951 Berk Ross panel, where he is pictured with Granny Hamner, the shortstop for the Whiz Kid Phillies in 1950. So that's the Berk Ross card, 1951. Now the next card is not a playing days card, although it's as close to a playing days card as you can get without actually being a playing days card. It's in the 1952 Berk Ross set, and I just want to show you again, right next to the picture from the 51 card, and as you can see, it's the same photograph, just cropped a bit differently. But that's, and of course it's a little larger Joe's image is a little larger in the 51 set. But, so those are the Berk Ross cards. The next card comes from a set of postcards that were sold at Yankee Stadium in the 60s. And it's such a great photo of Joe that I thought you might like to see it, even though it's clearly not a playing days card. This probably, well, no, certainly it was a photograph certainly taken while Joe was playing, but not issued while he was playing. And the next card has been seen before on this channel. It is from the clinic schedule postcard set issued in 1970, and it features Joe DiMaggio and presumably observing the Star Spangled Banner. The back of this card has a very nice explanation. Tells about the plaques that were presented to Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio in a ceremony at Yankee Stadium on June 8, 1969. And much later, when these same two were reunited in another ceremony featuring the unveiling of their two monuments in Monument Park, Yankee Stadium. And the final card that I have to show you is from the 1977 to 79 Sportscaster set. Featuring Joe DiMaggio from his playing days, the photograph, and then an insert photograph of Joe in his uniform as a coach for the Oakland A's. So that's what I have to show you today. I hope to add to my DiMaggio collection. There are some Gaudy premiums from 36, 37, 39 that are not terribly expensive. They're expensive. I mean, you can set you one of them can set you back a comma card price for sure, but hopefully occasionally you'll see them in lower grades that where you might be able to get them at a more respectable price. And there's one that pictures Joe with let's put the camera back on me. Well, I'll make it like this, but this is what you're going to get anyway. And as I mentioned, there are also some other playing days cards that I don't have. The 39, the Gaudy premiums are sometimes known as wide pens, and I think they also come with the same sort of paper material and size, and I think the fine pens were issued by National Chicle as opposed to Gaudy gum. So that's what I have to show you. I hope you enjoyed having a look at these wonderful, wonderful playing days cards of one of the all-time greats, Joe DiMaggio. And in the meantime, this is Rocket Rick J, 18, wishing all your collecting dreams come true.